Hello and welcome to the Positivity Vibe Tribe. Today we're hosting with at Master Nobody, talking about introverts. Let's talk. Warm welcome everybody. Welcome Josh, Teresa, Jeanette, David. We are talking introverts today. So super excited to have this space and this topic. Let's wait for our fellow host to arrive. And while we're doing that, I will start to load up the nest very soon. Also, actually, let me put a welcome chat message in the chat piece. Okay, so the chat is live, everyone. So do hop into the chat and say hello and comment along with everything you'd like to comment with today. Hey, welcome to Lance and Karen. Anita's here, David, Mofo, Siddhant, George is here, Sunflower. Great to see everybody here in the Positivity Vibe Tribe, of course. All right, now would be a great time to share out the space, everyone. And the easiest way to do that is to hit the bubble down the bottom, which is the chat, and then you can hit the retweet button. Okay. Let's get, Master has arrived, so let's get him set up here. Just sent you the powers that be. Okay, Lance is already in the chat. Great, love it. Thank you for hopping into that chat and lighting it up. Okay. I think Master's having some technical difficulties. He's going to come back in a moment. All right. Okay, here he is. Let me just get him set up. Hello, Master, and welcome. Well, evening for you, and it's sunny it's getting sunny in California. I am truly excited about our show. And how are you feeling? It's your evening.
Very well.
Fantastic. Okay.
Everything's calm. Yeah.
Yes, love it. Love that everything is calm with you. As always, actually. You always ensure that it's calm, I've noticed. I don't think I've ever experienced you when you're not calm, to be honest.
It takes time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm just loading up a few things up in the nest, and then I'm going to go to your page and grab a few things. So everybody, I've posted up in the nest the link to the Positivity Vibe Tribe community if you're not already a member. And also we have our sponsors, Wordsmith Pakistan, posted up in the nest, and a link to the YouTube show with guest interviews and guided meditations and affirmations. Okay, so I'm going in and posting, first of all, this wonderful thread from Master on introverts. And then the next thing, I'm going to grab your next post, which I really loved, and I already read that one. And I'm going to pick up Trust Your Instincts. This is a really great one for today as well. All right, so that is in the nest already. The chat is live, and we are getting this space loaded up Love it so much. All right. So let's just see here. What else do I need to check? All right. I think we can start to make a beginning to this show, an official launch for this show. So let's do this while everybody else starts to gather into the space. I see, okay, what's happening here? Okay, one of our co-hosts is here. Let me just send you the invite. Let's see what happens. All right. Oh, there he is. Okay. It's a little bit slow on the tech end today. Hey, welcome, Stephen.
Good morning, Indra. Good morning, Master. Good morning, Tribe.
Yeah, the tribe.
Good morning, Stephen. How are you?
I am well, sir. How are you?
Very well. Thank you.
Notepad at the ready.
Ooh.
Looking forward to this busy midweek. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
We are always happy to have Master in the tribe. All right, everybody, let's make an official start. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Positivity Vibe Tribe space. I'm Indra Bartona, a producer in the film and television industry, TV host, and the founder of the Positivity Vibe Tribe. Originally, I'm from the Gold Coast, Australia, lived in London for several years, and now based in Los Angeles. So a little bit of background on the Positivity Vibe Tribe. I started my YouTube channel last year in June with a positive vibe lifestyle theme, and it became my personal brand. So it's the natural evolution to bridge the gap, Positivity Vibe Tribe spaces, between all platforms, and most importantly, bring them to life. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Stephen J. Caggiani, behind-the-scenes team member extraordinaire. So thank you so much for joining us. And I'm particularly excited because today is the launch of, today is part of our Wednesday series where the Positivity Vibe Tribe joins forces with at master_nobody, his official Twitter account. So our mission of supporting the community is perfectly aligned, plus our content works in harmony together. So he prefers to be called by his pen name Master and writes content about insights to help introverts heal and grow and become their best selves. Master has a new Sunday newsletter, the Introvert newsletter. So make sure you subscribe. That's on his profile page. And also, he runs an exclusive Telegram channel, Aware Beings. His blog can be found at masternobody.com. And by the way, everyone, make sure you're following Master. I have 3 of his wonderful posts that are at the top in the nest. So they are first, and then you can also discover some of the other content up there. Our sponsors, a link to my YouTube channel, and of course a link to the community. So on that note, warm welcome, Master.
Thank you, Indra. Thank you very much. Always pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. And so excited to start this journey of Wednesdays and discussing all things introverts. So a great place to start with this would be to just also talk about the need for this. And I have to say your content has really catered to this marketplace.
I was an introvert, but as like all introverts, I didn't know that I was one. And like introverts think that there is something wrong with them. No, there is not anything wrong with you. And there is a misconception that they need to fix this. That's the main problem. That they need to cure it. Because, see, everything is extroverted in the outer world. The self-help gurus, they're on the stages shouting at you to do this and do that. Where our dear introverts, they're not aligned with that. That's not who they are. And I tried it too, to act like an introvert, because everything that I was seeing, I was experiencing, I was learning was through extroverts. And it programs you to think that that's the right thing to do. And then we discard our own nature. See, when I studied, when it got into this topic, it was like an awakening. I thought that some introverts needed me. That's where it came. It comes, it's a soft voice, a whisper. Or if you're really aware, you'll hear it. And I heard it. And I thought, yes, maybe that's the community that needs my help. So that's why I decided to start this new venture, this new journey. And I'm glad that you're here with me, Indra, to kick it off. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Master. So also, I have realized that I originally was an introvert, and I think you can shift over and kind of lean into, if you are, which something was very important that Master just said, we're almost under pressure or forced to, because of the world that we're in. Everything is very social media, everything is visual, everything is, shared across platforms. And my natural state would probably be more on the introverted side. And I have almost had to, it's almost like at certain times I will switch on my extrovert piece. And I know that this is something we can talk about later, but that's where my comfort level sits, being an introvert. So this is a really close to home topic for me, and also having to mold and shape myself into more of an extrovert is kind of interesting, just because of what I'm doing as well. But also, it's interesting that I have chosen as a producer to be more behind the camera than in front of the camera. So that's very revealing as well. Okay, Master. So I think there is a lot of material that you're putting out into the world as far as this topic of introverts. And before we start to invite people up, I guess, what do you think would be our major goal for today with this topic? Because it's very kind of open, like let's talk introverts, and also share just sort of what we want to achieve by this topic today.
Today's space will be focused on helping introverts to embrace their true nature. You see, all the famous people, let me give you some examples. Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Leo Tolstoy, the writers Haruki Murakami, the social worker Mother Teresa. They're all deeply respected and looked upon as greatest of all times. Why? They didn't read a book, or they didn't went to a guru to learn. No. They became great because they embraced their true nature. Introversion is not something you have to cure. It's a gift. It's a superpower. And in today's space, that's what we will talk about. What's stopping you? What's stopping introverts to embrace their true natures?
Okay, this is exciting, and I think it would be a good time to start to invite people up here into the panel to talk about their journey as introverts and what is stopping them from being all that they can be, embracing this introvert journey. Hey, sorry, I was typing, Stephen. I just realized your hand was up. My apologies.
No worries whatsoever. I'd like to give comment to that and say simply there's maybe an overlying assumption that comes in conjunction with defining the approval or perhaps disapproval, any stigma that may be attached or any deficit that may be attributed to one over the other. And that's simply in the fact that to recharge, to be rejuvenated, to be invigorated, the introvert is going to expose himself to an economy of people, a crowd, a party, even the mall. The stimulus and the engagement is rewarding to the extrovert. It's how they recharge, how they feel alive. In that same environment, an introvert is going to find themselves drained, perhaps needing to withdraw from all the stimulus and get to a quiet place where they can be alone with their thoughts. And there, the introvert will gather their thoughts and recharge. Mind you, we've just flipped economies, and the extrovert, under those same conditions, will progressively find themselves drained. So it's safe to say that the extrovert who's out and about making contacts visibly in front of many people is going to be the more familiar, the more relevant, the more topical, and perhaps have more accolades as a result of just being more visible. At the end of the day, I find introverts to be better people all the way around.
Great share, Stephen. I certainly liked what you said about the introvert needing to recharge from all the overstimulus. Master, would you like to make some comments about some of the things that Stephen shared? I think he dropped some gems there.
He always does. It's true, very true. They both, personalities, have their own mechanisms of calming themselves, of calming their nerves, of focusing, of recharging their batteries. It's not about who's better, who's worse. They just have different ways to live their lives. That's all there is. And as Stephen said, it's important to embrace their own styles. And most people are not doing that. And that's what's draining them. They're trying to be someone else. They're trying to do things that are not meant to do. Their nature doesn't allow them to do things that extroverts do because it comes naturally to them, but not to introverts. Now here, what I'm trying to do with my tweets, with my content from now onwards, is to help them connect with their own true nature, to get deep under the layers and see who they are and start appreciating their solitude, their own gift, their own thinking, their own emotions, their sensitivity to the world around them. Extroverts find treasures in the outside world. They go hiking. They go exploring in the outside world. It's same for the introverts. They go exploring in the inside world. They're more into thoughts. They make philosophies. They come up with great equations. They come up with great theories. The inside and the outside are equal. The ways are just different. That's all the difference there is.
I think that's a really great way of looking at it. The differences and embracing the differences, Master. And it's putting a really positive kind of, it's almost like putting a positive umbrella around this embracing of the nature of introverts. And I really love that because it's really, really warm and it's really, really inviting to look within ourselves on so many levels. So this is very inspiring what you just shared. Okay, we are going to go over to Josh, who has his hand up. Josh is also one of our community moderators. So warm welcome, Josh.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me up, Indra. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Master. I just want to say thank you to Master because, especially for fellow introverts, your content, you're speaking an important message, and that is we need to embrace our true nature, no matter what that might be, whether it leans extrovert or leans introvert. If we embrace our true nature, we are then more happier, more healthier, and for ourselves, but also for others, so we can navigate the world and really create a better world environment for all when we are embracing, ourselves. So again, thank you as a fellow, introvert, and those listening. I think this is an important message because I wasn't able to really because I didn't own my own introvertness, for a long time, and for a long time I felt like the awkward person, who was more deep in thought, more observing, more in my own self. I was always like Master just said, uh, living an adventure on the inside through books, through writing, and I to this day it's still what I do. Um, but I would say a positive message to all is, again, once you do, like Master says, and everyone's been talking about, what if you own your true nature, who you are, and realize that it's not something to be fixed, but it's just who you are, and there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing wrong with you, and you can be successful, happy, and not have to worry about the stigmas, that are behind an introvert, so to say. So and we need both, as a matter of fact. We need both the introverts and the extroverts. And so, just a quick story: the last job I had, my boss was a extrovert, and I was an introvert. So, you know, um, there's obviously some clashing, and obviously it took a little bit of time for us to find a balance, but my boss, I have to give props to my boss because she finally came to me and said, you're an introvert, aren't you? And I said, yes. Well, yes, I am. And so from that point, she was able to kind of understand and then bridge um our communication so that we could show up better for each other and work better with each other. So again, I think that's an important message because you can work with others, you can be a leader and be an introvert. It's nothing to be fixed, like Master said, and instead just embrace your nature, embrace who you are, um, and live the adventure that you were meant to live. So just thank you. Those are my comments. I wanted to say a huge thank you.
Absolutely, Josh. And hang around on the panel because we are going to definitely swing back. That was really valuable that your boss actually realized that there was this difference in both your approaches. And I think that's really, really incredible. And also the fact that you had the appreciation and the awareness to observe that, that's really incredible as well, that all of this was happening, all of this self-awareness. Master, over to you.
A lot of valid points. A lot of valid points, Joshua. Absolutely agree. This is what I'm trying to do. See, what really I've seen on Twitter, on YouTube, I mostly do it for research purposes. I don't. I've I don't get influenced by anyone, not at this age, but yes, I do like doing a lot of research as an introvert. I'm interested in ideas, collecting ideas, real ideas. And the problem is, so this is the problem, now pay attention. What they're teaching, the medium is extroverted. The medium is extroverted. And they're telling you to go out and do this. You have to go out, you have to talk,
Good evening. Good evening.
you have to do this. What if you don't want to do it? What if you're not like that? What if you're not built like that? What if every cell of your body resists what they're saying, but they're the experts? They have 1 billion views on their videos. Makes them an expert. It's called social proof, according to psychology. When you have social proof, humans follow them. It's built-in mechanisms. See, it's all interconnected. My dear introverts, please try to understand this psychology. You are only following them. You are only doing the things that they are telling you to do because they have social proof. You think all these people are following them, but half of them are extroverts. You are not. If you start doing the things they are telling you to do, which is through extroverted medium, you will suffer. And you don't get successful, right? You don't get successful, and then you question yourself in silence because you're an introvert and you question things. You're all about the whys. Why is this happening to me? And you're not able to figure out, I'm doing everything right. I'm following that guru. He's an expert. I'm doing this. I go by the book. Why is it not working for me? Because it's not your nature. That's why. You are built different. If you really become silent and sit in a quiet room and think about it, you will actually feel every cell of your body resisting what you're doing. You have to follow your own true nature. And when you start doing that, everything, and I mean everything, starts flowing in your direction. It becomes effortless. And you wonder what is going on. It will almost feel like magic. But my friend, it will be true.
Master, that was an absolute mic drop moment. When you just said everything starts flowing as soon as you really connect to the real you, not what you were trying to be, what you are being influenced by, but you actually find the real essence. So yeah, absolutely. That was just a moment. I think I saw a lot of emojis just go off in the moment. And you really resonated with so many people by saying that. Why be somebody else when you can be you? There's no reason to be somebody else. Okay, so let's go to our next person. I believe Anushri is next. Welcome to this discussion on introverts, Anushri.
Thank you, Indra. And listening to Master here, I was just, it gave me a lot to think about because I also identify as an introvert. And a lot of my friends don't agree with it because they feel that somebody who can strike a conversation with anybody would not necessarily fall into that. But Anyway, I don't think labels are that important. But what is important is being true to yourself. Like Master was also talking about, which I love. I absolutely love. And I feel what I wanted to express here was regarding introverts having the capacity to introspect. And I absolutely love that about being one, because when you have the capacity to sit with yourself, with your thoughts, just think and come to these amazing realizations about yourself, what you like, what you don't like, and understand the flow of your energy. It's a wonderful thing. And I feel I strongly recommend it to anybody and everybody. So that is one thing. And another, I had actually a question also, what I wanted to ask from you and also from Master is that sometimes, so I am a trainee therapist and I see people, and they have felt very guilty about a lot of emotions that they go through. And I don't think that should be the norm. But unfortunately, that is how it is. Somebody who is emotional, somebody who is sensitive is quickly regarded as a weak person. And I feel introverts in general, the more I meet, the more I realize they are people who feel things deeply. And sometimes they don't feel as accepted by other people to express these things. If I see a beautiful cloud and I just want to admire it, it would be weird for people who are used to having a fast life. So, my question is that if somebody here or anybody in general comes and feels like they are made to feel guilty about their emotions, and because let's face it, we live in a world where most people, however they think, is conceived like people think that it is the right thing because a lot of people are saying it, which is not true. So if somebody has been made feel guilty for their emotions, how can they work on that and just say, let me just feel my feelings. I don't want other people telling me that I'm something because I feel a certain way.
I'm just going to jump in quickly, and then I'm going to let Master finish this answer off. But I feel like it was something that we already kind of discussed, and many of the speakers before were alluding to exactly what you were saying. What you were asking about is to be able to find your true self and to embrace your true self and to accept that no matter what the noise is going on externally. You know, Master also just mentioned about this social media, all around us, about the world is all about Instagram and all those things. And introverts can do all of these things if they choose to, but it's also that you have to be true to yourself, the way that you do connect, or that you need to go back into yourself and find the reserves, refuel yourself. It's not like you can stay out in that world for long. So I feel like, yes, I think that introverts are more sensitive, but I also think it's a strength because you and everybody else in this room are in touch with their emotions. Over to you, Master.
Very well said, Indra, and thank you, Industry, for your question. Well, you say feeling guilty for your own emotions. If I may be a little rude, it's stupid. Let me explain why. Problem is not about feeling guilty of your emotions. The problem is you're stuck in duality. Let me further explain it in a very simple way. You never feel guilty for being happy, do you? No, that's also an emotion. Why don't you feel guilty of laughing and having fun, going out with your friends and having a laugh? Why not? You're feeling, there's an emotion in your body, but it doesn't make you feel guilty in any way. But if you're feeling sad, on the other hand, if you're upset about something or you're feeling low, then you start feeling guilty. Why am I feeling this? Because you see sadness and happiness as two different things. They are not. They're two sides of the same coin, my dear. You have to embrace them equally. All your emotions, they're all beautiful. If you look at sadness, it's so beautiful because you have never looked at sadness. You escape it as soon as you're feeling sad. Oh no, poor little me. I'm going to run away, watch some Netflix, drown myself in alcohol, smoke weed, or do anything to run away. But if you sit with sadness, it's beautiful. You haven't experienced it because we don't have the strength. We don't have that kind of awareness to see happiness and sadness as equal and sit with them both. Next time you're sad or feeling guilty about your emotions, it could be anything. It could be personal questions. So I'm not going to ask, what is it you feel guilty about? But when the next time when you feel guilty about feeling something, just sit with it alone. Sit with a glass of water, drink water, because your throat may dry up because of the sadness. You may even feel like crying. Cry your heart out if you have to. Just make sure you feel it. You'll understand. You'll never feel guilty again. Trust me. Just feel it.
Beautifully said, Master. Beautifully said. Okay, let's go to Tim.
Hey,
Welcome, Tim.
thanks for having me. I was following Stephen, who's a good friend of mine, and I thoroughly enjoyed the environment. And I'm actually the opposite in terms of an introvert. I'm probably, I don't know if label's the right way, but people would define me as an extrovert. But it's surprising. My first 10 years of working in a Big Four consultancy, two of my mentors, which were the partners of the firm, were definitely they definitely saw themselves as introvert. And I remember the partner during some of our performance reviews and discussions, he would always say, Tim, you need people around you to stimulate you. And he said, I don't need anyone to stimulate me. I stimulate myself. And he actually took me to a course. And I think because they're so in touch to themselves and they don't need anything that distracts them, he sort of took this course, which was the Four Temperament course. And it sort of talked about the qualities of like a sanguine, like someone that's optimistic, social, someone that's melancholic, more analytical, quiet, down to earth, a cleric, someone short tempered, a phlegmatic, relaxed, peaceful, and water. And what he told me was, and this is what nurtured me into becoming who I am now, for these partners that were introverts, but some of the most successful people within the industry, molded me to become a stronger human being, but also a professional, because they taught me a lot about emotional intelligence, which was learning about myself and then getting an understanding to learn about others and then interacting based on understanding people's capacities. And I think the nature of my mentors, and I think that was from uni to work, and even now as a company founder, I use a lot of the stuff that they taught me in terms of managing our staff. And one of the qualities I noticed for a lot of them is they definitely don't talk as much as I do, but their words are much more powerful. So it's limited, but with a lot more power. So I've been very fortunate to have mentors and leaders and founders that have nurtured me because of these maybe introverted attributes. because they seem to have a better grasp on themselves and an understanding of their surroundings as well. So I just wanted to add maybe a different aspect of my experience anyway into it. But I really appreciate Master and yourself and Stephen providing this platform. I think it's amazing to have this platform in Web3 on Spaces. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Did you have a question for Master and myself?
Maybe that's the question I'll allude to. So, in terms of having the various qualities, you mentioned about embracing the qualities and who you are, but also in terms of interaction, um, knowing who you are and trying to realize and understand who others are. Does that help bridge the relationships and the gaps within relationships?
Great question, Tim. Thank you so much. Master.
They do, and very rightly said. Introverts have a higher level of awareness than extroverts. Extroverts are more interested in the experience, you see, and introverts are more interested in the meaning of that experience. That's how they think. When they have that's why they need alone time, because they need to introspect. They need to reflect upon it, what happened. And when they're done with it, when they're done the reflection, they've got the insight, then they're able to understand it. That's how they make sense of their surroundings, of life, or experiences. And the reason why you saw them as mentors, as you mentioned, was because they have a very high level of empathy. And it comes naturally to all introverts. Very high level of empathy. They understand what is going on with you without you ever saying a word. You will see them as seers or someone with magic powers, but they're not. It's just simple human mechanism. And they have this empathy, and they're able to understand you. They are great listeners. They listen very carefully. They're not distracted when they're listening to you. And they will know the context, not just your words, but the context of your words. What is going on inside you? Why are you using those words? They will see through your pain. They will see through your feelings. They will see through your hurt. If you're hurt, if you're feeling sad, they will feel it too. That's empathy, you see. And that's why they make us great mentors, because they're able to understand people on a very deep level. Thank you.
Tim, I hope that answered your question. I don't have anything to add to that one. Master, that was amazing. Thank you for laying everything out. Okay, let's go to our next speaker, and I believe it's Karen. Karen, welcome back to the Positivity Vibe Tribe. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Indra, Stephen, and Master especially. So, for raising such a wonderful topic and talking about it out loud.
Karen, can you speak up a little bit louder? We are not able to hear you.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, I think that's a bit better.
So I was saying that thank you to you and Master and Stephen for organizing such a beautiful space and discussing such an important topic to be discussed here. I just want to say that no matter what is your attitude, how you behave, or things, how you look to the world, the one thing that's important is acceptance. As Master said earlier, that acceptance is the most important thing. You first need to accept the way you are. Then you can ask others to accept the way you are. You need to first know that whatever you are doing, if it's good for you, if it make you feel happy, then it's actually good. There is nothing harm or there is nothing to worry about what others will think about it. looking at an extrovert, people have said that movies have shown it in a cool way, and people with an introvert attitude have been shown like they are an underconfident. But that's not an actual thing to be discussed. People being introvert are not underconfident, but what we have been told or what we are portraying to others is a wrong way to communicate what introverts think. So I just want to ask this, that is it really true that introverts are underconfident, or is it just the thing that has been portrayed since a very long time that introverts are underconfident? Because I, being an introvert too, I have struggled experiencing the same fact that introverts are called as underconfident.
Thanks so much, Karen. That is a really interesting question. And I think something that you mentioned there, as in you were describing the world, externally, and then you feeling a certain way. Well, I think the thing is that maybe sometimes introverts may be perceived as not as confident, like quietness can be underestimated. Now, quietness and that peacefulness, where many introverts will travel within themselves to find peace of mind, to find solace, well, the external world is looking for some sort of flashiness or some sort of external behavior. That is actually a very powerful position to be in, to be finding peace within yourself, to be looking for answers rather than necessarily for an introvert to be releasing a whole lot of energy externally for the sake of looking like they're confident. So I actually think that is a great strength, even though maybe there may be some perception that introverts are being very quiet, or or is that a sign of lack of confidence? But often, I actually did a space on this a couple of weeks ago, and Stephen will probably remember. We did silence with compassion, and all the different variables of silence. And this may be something that we can also expand on in the introvert area as a space another time with Master, but because it's a whole topic on itself virtually. But basically, that silence fuels you. It energizes you as an introvert. It gives you the time to go and just sit and maybe not even be processing any thoughts, maybe sometimes processing thoughts and looking for answers. There's so many different areas and variables of being in silence. So they're just some of my thoughts. Master, over to you.
Well, to answer your question in one word, the answer is no. And to explain it further, let me give you a little example. All of us here are familiar with two of the most popular pets in the world, cats and dogs. Dogs have their own nature. They're all jumpy and always excited, and when you pet them, they wag their tails. And cats have their own charm. They're a bit moody. They're hanging on doors and spilling things and being cute and all that. Now, to compare it, introverts are like cats. Now, if you pet a cat and it's not jumping on you and licking you and wagging its tail, what would you say to a cat? You're underconfident? You're stupid? Why are you not doing all the things? Why are you not excited? Would you say that to a cat? No. You love the cat for what it is. You love a dog for what it is. You have a different nature. My friend, if you don't embrace it and start chasing people with popular personalities who are shouting at the top of their lungs, you'll never get what you want. Because internally, your whole body, your whole DNA, every cell is resisting what you're doing. Conscious is just the tip of the iceberg. The actual things are happening in the subconscious, which makes up 7/8 of the iceberg. How are you going to move it? No, you're not underconfident. You are okay the way you are. If you like spending your whole day lying on your bed reading, it's fine. If you don't feel like talking to anyone, it's fine. If you don't feel like replying to any messages for 3 days, it's fine. Start embracing, following your own nature. That's the key to happiness. That's how you will reach your highest potential.
Karen, did that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Master. Okay, let's go over to Udi. Udi, welcome to the Positivity Vibe Tribe. And do you have a question about introverts to Master?
Hello, Indra. Good day, everyone. There is no question. I actually came in here to share my view, to encourage, whether you are introvert or you are an extrovert. What matters most is how much you control what goes around your body, your mind, and your soul. Whatever challenge you may face, it is best that you can actually, if you can't manage it, find someone who is a friend who can be helping you to understand your problem. Sometimes talking to someone about your problem doesn't mean they are going to solve your problem, but sometimes we just need that listening ear, just to hear us out. We pour out our problems or pour out our concern. That's if a person is an extrovert, has ability to talk to someone. But while you can be an introvert, there are advantages of being an introvert. But that doesn't also mean you do not have someone or a very close friend you can actually talk to. For me, someone might say I'm religious, but sometimes when I face situations or challenges that are overwhelming, sometimes I go into praying to God, But that's for me. I'm not saying that should be applied to everyone else. So sometimes we just need to talk to someone about our problem. And also, if the problem is seeming actually very difficult, do not go into depression, because the other side of being an introvert sometimes might end someone becoming depressed. So the help could be some way by your friend or your family or your relative. But whatever it is, do know that whatever problem you face, it shall always pass. So this one too shall pass if you're facing a problem. But still, I'm here to just be part of the community, to continue to add to the vibe and also to encourage everyone else. Thank you, Indra.
Thank you, Udi, for your encouragement and your positive words on everything. Master, did you have any thoughts on Udi's contribution?
Well said. That's all I have to say. Encouraging people is the best thing you can do. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going over to Lance and then Teresa. I see your hand up, and then Mofo. Thank you for waiting, everybody. Lance, welcome. Lance is a regular in the Positivity Vibe Tribe, and not just in the spaces, but he pretty much daily posts without ever missing a day. And if Lance is here, usually his mum, Karen, is here. So hello, special warm welcome to Karen, who is healing and resting.
Thanks, Indra. Hello, Indra. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Master. This is it's actually my mom's birthday today, and she turns 68. So Karen's just here in the background a little bit.
Oh, okay. Hang on. We have a traditional thing that we do in the tribe. Okay, everybody who's sitting up as a speaker, you guys have to please contribute to singing happy birthday. It's just all it is sending good energy to the birthday person. Okay, are we all ready? Come
Ready.
on, Master. I know you can sing. Teresa, Karen, everybody, mics off and sing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
lovely
Karen.
Happy birthday to you.
Hip hip, hooray. All right. Thank you,
Karen's
everyone.
saying thank you. Big thank you to everybody on the PVT family and the tribe for doing that. That touches her heart and warms her too. Anyways, what I was going to share about, it wasn't more of a question for Master, but it's more of a story of a celebration that I want to share, if I may. It's about a person that had a lot of trouble. He was an introvert, and this is way back when I was actually in high school, and he couldn't trust anybody else. He says, I want to be able to, his name is Paul. He wanted to bring so much to the world, but he never knew how. And he says, all I want to do is drink, smoke weed. And he got really down on himself because people would keep on saying to him he wouldn't be anything, he wouldn't amount to anything in his life. And where I come into this is I was told those things too, and I helped him to understand that you are your own worst critic, you are your own worst enemy. You don't have to believe into all those things that those people are sharing. But when I started sharing a story with him about how I felt at one point of my life and my time where I was put down in those areas, he says, other people just don't get me. And I can't share those with other people the way that I can share them with you. He said, because you're sharing a vital life experience with me, Lance, that I feel that you can help me better. And I said, I can't help you unless you want to help yourself. So when he got down into making certain goals, and he thought at one point that he could never make a goal for himself. And my mom would always say that's because he has the apostrophe T in the way of I can't do this, I can't do that. So when you take away that apostrophe in the T in procrastination and other things that are holding you back and all those belief systems, now we can start going in and molding into the creativity process with the remolding and rewiring the mindset. When you got into that molding and rewiring, he brought more. I asked him, what would you like to do? What would you like to bring to the world of that zest for life, that quality of life that you want? What is it that you truly want to be, do, or have, Paul, in your life? He says, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to strive for a valedictorian by the end of my high school year. So we started doing some goals in this area, and little by little, he started coming more and more out of his shell. He stopped smoking weed. He stopped drinking it as much. And he started reading books that he never thought that were ever possible in his life. And he says, Lance, not to tap you on the back, but he says, for you being an extrovert, helping me as the introvert, I now feel like I can breathe for the first time. And I was so molded in fear, I couldn't even see how much fear, and slowly how I was going into depression. And he says, but when another person like you have been there, we can help each other out. So that's what I want to share. It was more of a celebration of life, or bring it out. Who's ever struggling with self-esteem out there, you're not alone with any of this. Back to you, Master and Indra.
Thanks so much for sharing that beautiful and inspiring story. And I think this is another, we had Josh, who was here earlier, who shared something similar, that he had a boss who was an extrovert who helped him and who was always inspiring him. So I know, Lance, that you do coach a lot of people in your coaching work. And it sounds like you are able to have that empathy and are able to connect to introverts that are pretty much on the opposite side of where you sit, right? So that is a beautiful thing that you can identify that, and obviously that makes you a great coach as well. So that is incredible that you have that capacity to do that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Indra.
Very inspiring, and it's wonderful. Thank you, Karen, for joining us on your birthday. I hear her back there.
She's saying thank you.
Welcome. Master, I bet you didn't think you were going to have to sing happy birthday.
Never in my dreams. See, I'm more of a one-to-one person, so I'll say to her personally, you are very, very happy birthday and blessings from my side.
Thank you.
Mom's saying thank you, Master.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Master. Sorry to put you on the spot like that. Did you have any thoughts about what Lance just shared about his coaching a client situation?
It proves that empathy, and it has to be genuine. You see, you read books, you read quotes on Instagram, you watch videos, and it's like dopamine shots that you're taking by the second. Does it work? No, they don't work. What really works is someone who is doing it with the right intention, with the right empathy. Empathetic people have so much love inside them. When an introvert falls in love, they fall in love, they go crazy. They do. They go all in. They're not looking for the second option. They burn all the boats. That's how they are. It's the same thing. It's the same with everything. And this is what I want you to focus on. This is a power, you see, to focus every cell of your body onto one thing, whether it's love, whether it's a business, whether it's one particular thought that you're obsessed about, whether you want to get wealthy. You have to follow your own nature. You need to get obsessed with what you want. That's what Lance did. He really helped. He had that empathy, that pure love, intentional, that helped that guy come out of the rut and become successful, and helped him to understand what he really wanted and what was his purpose. So I appreciate you, Lance, for doing that for your friend. Lovely.
Thank you, Master.
Okay, we're going over to Teresa and then to Mofo. Teresa.
Hello, Indra. It's such a pleasure. Thank you for hosting, and quite the speaker to follow, Lance. Pleasure to meet you on this forum, and Master. And hello to everyone. The commonality, as you said, Indra, in terms of a few of the speakers, the interesting thing is the commonality of introverts helping extroverts and extroverts helping introverts in terms of the yin yang, and celebrating each one as not just in the individuality or the singularity, but the part of, it's the sum of all parts is greater, which for me, being in the wine, spirits, hospitality industry, it's actually interesting because Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of that, I'm really diving into as an entrepreneur, as a founder of my business. And I am surprised that I am an introvert more so. I'm of course very social and sociable. I enjoy people and all that, which is what led me from being an accountant in my previous lifetime, working in law firms, and I would have been doing forensic accounting and trust accounting, but I'm very social, and so I chose the hospitality industry. However, I've realized with being the founder of my company, I am more introverted, and so working from home and all of that's been really interesting. And with social media, I'll share a story in terms of I always look to applaud everyone, but applauding introverts and applauding all of the characteristics that introverts commonly have. For example, in social media, TikTok, of course, has just exploded as a medium, and people are becoming viral and all of the rest of it. It's actually I would say, the fastest growing social media in an interesting way across all demographics. And so if you haven't already, now that I'm letting you know about this, you will probably start to hear and see it all over. And there is, when you're doing audio with regards to TikTok or Instagram or any of your social media, you can add the sound bites. You can add music or a quote or something. And so the Italian cocktail that of the moment is they call it a Negroni Spagliato, but it's actually just a Spagliato. It's an Italian cocktail. I have been ordering it for the better part, and I have actually been choosing it for wine lists and cocktail lists and restaurants and clients and friends and all that for a few years now, easily. And I'm late to the game as well. The story, I try to keep my stories as short as possible, though I am very detailed in them. And in celebrating in the forum of what we're talking about, of introverts, the interesting thing is on TikTok, you will now see and hear, and it has gained viral notoriety. The Spagliato is going to end up being on every cocktail list, every Christmas function, every wedding, every anniversary, all of that over these next while. So much so that the Campari and the Vermouth and Prosecco industries are actually telling, like, bartenders and all of that are preparing for stocking up and all of the rest, because when cocktails or when certain things go viral, then all of a sudden you have a shortage on things. So I've been telling my clients, stock up on these particular items, which one is Campari, and Campari has run out before. I am part Italian, so I come by this cocktail not only honestly, it's something that I learned from my friends and family members. The moral of all of this is it was actually, in a way, more of an introvert that created it. I didn't get a chance to meet the gentleman. His son is still alive, but Mirko Sachetto invented it in, there's discrepancy on the years, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. It all depends on which Wikipedia or whatever. However, late 70s, he was bartending. He mistakenly grabbed the spumante instead of the gin, and he created a cocktail. And Spagliato in Italian means mistake. Now, again, that was the late 70s, early 80s. Fast forward to 2021, when writers were starting to talk about it. And then fast forward to now, whereby not only the Spagliato is viral sensation, is on everyone's doing different social media and all that, thereby creating content, thereby creating revenue, thereby creating interest, thereby creating tribes like this. And so
Teresa, I'm just going to stop you because you've been talking for we're getting on to 4 minutes plus here.
Okay.
And what we're focused on today, and I appreciate the story because the cocktail sounds beautiful, and I'm definitely going to be investigating that cocktail, no doubt. But we are trying to investigate about introverts and introverts as a topic. So if you have like a 5 to 10 second wrap up on the moral of the story and how it leads back, that would be really appreciated, because both Master and I do have to get the space going, because we are going to have to wrap this up, sooner rather than later.
Certainly. The introverts, like artists, sometimes they're, because we are introverted and because we are introspective, because introverts are quieter than extroverts, it sometimes takes years or decades for their talents, their mastery and all of that, and just to be applauded. So, and duly noted, I very much understand and I appreciate the extra time that I've been given.
I'll add to this. After a third Spagliato, every introverted woman becomes an extrovert.
True.
There it is. We just saw it right here in the space, everybody. Okay, it's all good. All right, let's go to Mofo. Thank you for patiently waiting.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Indra. Thank you for the beautiful space. Thank you, Master, for being here, and everyone. So what I have today is a question. I want to find out if a person can actually have both be introverted and extroverted, because I feel like, for me, I'm a speaker. I love being on stage. I feel alive there. I have the high energy and I initiate conversations with strangers. But at the end of the day, I like the me time as well. And what has also been shared here, very reflective, very intuitive. And then recently, this has happened, with recent years, where if I have to go somewhere tomorrow, I would start now calculating my moves, that from that place I have to go to the other place and so forth. And that is not something that I used to have, and it just came out recently. And another example, I hosted a ceremony at my house, a gathering, and people came. Along with that, I had this sense of, after some time, other people would start leaving, other guests, and then others would remain. I would feel like, what we came here for is done. Can everybody leave? Though you wouldn't say that to people, but it's what I'm feeling, it's what I'm thinking, like, wow. And other people would even stay until late, and I feel like now I need my space. So I don't know where that came from. And there's also a term, the empath, that we consume people's energy. So my two questions is, can a person have two? Can a person be both introverted and extroverted? And the difference between, like what I'm experiencing now, is it that part of the empath, or is it that my introvertedness is coming to play? Thank you.
Master, would you like to take this?
Yes, the answer is yes. When Carl Jung, the Austrian psychologist, came up with these personality types back in the 1930s, I think, he did mention that there are some people very special who have the traits of both introverts and extroverts. So you are one of them, and it's true. You could long for solitude as well as for attention. You want to meet people that can charge your batteries, and sometimes you may want to just spend some time alone with a book, listening to music, or taking a walk, and that can help you recharge your batteries. So yes, it's true. And contemplating, see, since you have both traits, that's why you're contemplating whether it's the empath part of you or the introverted part of you. Empath and introverts are same. They're not different. It's a trait of introverts. Empathy is a trait of introverts. So the people who are very highly sensitive, they're called empaths. And all introverts have empathy, but the ones who have higher state of empathy, they're called empaths. That's the only difference. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you so much. And I just want to say I feel like I shift somewhere similar to what you were describing, Mofa. Between that, I can shift over to being a somewhat of a tuned in extrovert, and then I feel like the majority of my time is introverted. So very interesting. Stephen, I see your hand up.
Asante sana, wala sunlama for. So for the group, every extrovert is an introvert at some point. I won't say that every extrovert will come out of their shell voluntarily, but every introvert won't come out of their shell, but every extrovert will at some point be reflective. And hopefully it's in the planning side of things and not on the side of, oh my gosh, what did I do last night? Or I wish I hadn't said that, or whose pants are these? There's places where every extrovert is going to be out of necessity reflective, introverted, and more often than not, introversion reflection is an afterthought, whereas planning is a conscious habit. It's a conscious effort, and that makes for a better rounded and more dynamic extrovert. That's where your military leaders, the strategists, really come out of. A guy like Zig Ziglar, on the other hand, who's a staunch introvert, plan, 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 take the stage, teach the people, then goes right back into 80% planning, 80% introversion, 20% extroversion, and he made his living in that 20%. So every one of us is part introvert, part extrovert. It's where do we lean naturally? That's it.
Nicely said. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, we are at the precipice of the time with our last speaker, Aaron. Welcome to the Positivity Vibe Tribe space.
Hello, friends. So I love what everybody's been discussing, and especially the last couple speakers on how all of us have an introvert and an extrovert within us. And I was thinking of an analogy how, everybody likes planting those seeds within people and finding energy from that communication with other people, becoming kind of a farmer of sorts in that way, watching people grow and growing things with people, and how that makes you feel, but also growing yourself and looking within and being that tree that's growing, being that plant that's becoming stronger and bigger. And I think whichever one you are, whichever percentage you are, it's very gratifying, and in the right ways you can spread love to yourself and throughout to other people. It can be very gratifying, and if it's coming from the right direction with love and with positivity. And that's why I think groups like this are very important, because discovering that we have both within us and without us the capabilities to provide love in these ways. And I was just I was just very excited one day when I got on Twitter to see, because I look for things like this in my day to day, and sometimes in the world seems dark, seems dim, and then you start to communicate with other people, and you start to find voices like voices in here, realizing we all kind of want similar things. We all kind of want this type of love for ourselves and to spread, because it truly provides some of the best feeling.
Thanks so much, Aaron. Appreciate those thoughts. Master, did you have any comments on what Aaron just shared?
It is all about embracing your true self, the words that I started with. Embracing your true self, and we are all tired. We are sad. Life works in cycles. It goes ups and downs. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you'll always face problems. You'll always have good times and bad times. How you face them, what matters is how you face them. Face them equally. I'm not saying it easy, but you can try. As an experiment, you can try things and see. Just don't run away. Don't hurt yourself in any way from experiencing pain or sadness. Don't do that. Experience it. You will learn. I learned a lot.
Okay, so we have come to the end of our spaces. We're going to start to wrap everything up, just due to time constraints of both Masters' schedule and my own. But we are going to be, this is going to be an ongoing series with us talking about in these episodes, talking about introverts every Wednesday. So apologies to people who've just recently, there's a lot of people that have requested to speak, and we see you, and we look forward to you coming back next Wednesday to participate in these conversations. So thank you for your understanding on that. I just want to firstly just go around and just ask Josh, and then Lance, and then Stephen, and then we're going to end closing thoughts with Master. So Josh, what are your thoughts on this very first episode of Talking with Introverts?
Wow. Well, first, my thought is I'm so glad that I joined your space today. And thank you again, Master, Stephen, and Indra. Wonderful insights on this. As introverts, as extroverts, as human beings, as we are all navigating and figuring things out, it's important to know who we are, and it's important to understand our true nature. And when we can tune into that, like Master said earlier, that really opens the door, and things can really change for you and flow for you better. I would say one last thing too. Aaron said it perfectly. He said something that's important to you. There is a real need for this kind of communication amongst each other. And so thank you to this tribe. Thank you to this tribe, and thank you, Indra, for putting these spaces on and having these conversations, because as you can see with the response and the people coming in and wanting to engage, it's an important topic. It's something that's on all of our minds, and there's a real deep, I think, yearning for this level of understanding and this message. So thank you for this. I'm glad to be here, and thank you again, Master. Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate your closing thoughts, Josh. All right, over to Lance. Closing thoughts.
Hi, Indra. Hi, everybody. Very well said, Joshua. My closing thoughts here is, I remember back watching a movie called The Color of Money with Paul Newman, and had Tom Cruise in it. And he was talking to Tom Cruise about the just different stuff with money and everything, like rich can be arranged and everything else. But I always say, when we have a lovely program and PBT community space to come to, I feel like how Paul Newman talked about the human moves. these are our human moves. This is a celebration of life where we all can come global together and share our thoughts, our feelings in a private space, not being judged, but being heard. And for closing thoughts on that, it's like, if you're looking for more cutting edge action and more human moves, stay tuned because these are life chess moves and life skills that we can mold ourselves and be ourselves and learn more together as lifelong learners, as Indra would say. So thank you again, Master Stephen, for co-hosting, and Joshua and Indra has said that too. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Lance. Stephen, any last thoughts for our wrap up?
Speaking to Master's analogy on the dog and cat, that extroverted dog has an owner. That introverted cat has staff.
Okay, that totally made me laugh. That is just, that is truth. That is sheer truth. Yes, for any of us that are cat owners, we are certainly not the masters of the cat. That's for sure. Very interesting. And the cat is an introvert. Much thought there, maybe for another discussion. Master, over to you on a summary of thoughts of today's very first episode of our journey with introverts.
Thank you, Indra. Thank you, Joshua, for your insights. Lance, Stephen. I started this. This is something that will go on for a long time, as long as I can stretch it, and I'm going to expand it on a big level. I have nothing. I just flow with things. I trust the universe, and I think I'm on the right boat, and the stream is flowing. So I know it. I don't care where it's taking me, but it will take me to the destination. So I just need your support. That's all I need from you people to come up. And I know there are a lot of people there. I know introverts. I am one. I am you. I know that you don't like to talk. You don't like to come on stage. So if you want to ask anything in person, my DMs are always open. You can ask any questions. If you want to ask a question in the comments because you don't want to come on stage, I know, because I understand you. I am you. So it's okay. If you don't want to come up, you can ask me personally, one-on-one. And my closing thoughts are, though we'll be taking on different topics, dancing on different tangents, going to different dimensions into this rich depths of introvert mind. But today's lesson is to start embracing your introversion. Start looking at it as a gift, not as a disease, not as something that you need to cure, but as a gift. You will find answers in the silence. What you're looking outside, you already have it with you. And you'll only find it when you sit with your true nature, when you will sit with yourself and start thinking what I need to do with my life. Why am I here? These important questions, very cliche, I know. But these are the most important questions. Someone wise said that you will figure out life when you start asking the right questions. And you need to ask yourself the right questions, like, why am I here? Who am I? What do I align with? What do I like doing? Isn't that so simple? It's so simple. That's why we don't believe these things, because they are simple. We're more attuned to complexity because the world is very complex. But the real answers lie in simplicity. Ask yourself, what do I want? Does this really align with me? Do I really want to do this? Do I want to really do what this guy with 100 million followers and 500 million fans is saying? Do I really align with it? Don't go with that crap. No. Follow your own true nature. And trust me, you will get there. Wherever you want, whatever you want, you will get there. Once you start following your own true nature, start embracing your introversion, start spending time in silence and picking your own mind. Thank you.
I think that's a beautiful summary to today's first episode. Thank you, Master. Thank you so much. We truly, a lot of the time, we are rushing around in our world, and this is something that I just want to build off what Master just mentioned, which is really valuable, is we don't always give ourselves the time that we need. We don't invest in ourselves. Why is that? Because life is busy, but we still can make some time within our day. Take some time to give yourself a break from your work. Take 10 minutes to walk outside, look at some nature, get a glass of water, sit in stillness outside without your phone. Eat your lunch, eat breakfast without looking at your phone, without looking at technology. Do these things for yourself as part of nurturing yourself and the investment in yourself. This gives you time to download, to free up some space in your mind. This gives you some exclusive time with you, not with the external world that is constantly pulling and tugging at you. So I just loved a lot of the discussions. Really thankful for everybody who shared in the space today. And especially very excited to go forward with Master in the space on Wednesday as an ongoing topic of introverts and this journey with all of you. So we are going to be on this journey, the Positivity Vibe Tribe and Master aligned going forward, and it truly is exciting. So let's do some quick summaries of what is up in the nest. And I talk about the nest, the dots that are above the space. On the far right, there is the YouTube channel, which has guest interviews, guided meditations and affirmations, and appreciate your subscribe. And then next up is thank you to our sponsors for this space, Wordsmith Pakistan, and they can help you with any content development. Their information is there. And then third, the Positivity Vibe Tribe community. Do hit the link and join the community if you haven't already. And then next, I posted this beautiful thread from Master on introverts. And it starts off with Introverts Read This. Well worth a read right through the thread. And then also another post from Master, which was just a couple of hours ago, of course, on introverts, so do read that. And then there's also a third post about trusting your instincts. So make sure you check those out. If you're not following Master, make sure that you are following him. He also has a Sunday newsletter, the Introvert Letter. So make sure you please subscribe to that. And also he has an exclusive Telegram channel, Aware Beings. Plus, he also has a blog on his website with lots and lots of amazing information, masternobody.com. So if you go to Master's profile, you can definitely pick up on all of this information and be connected holistically with him on all of his connection points. So thank you so much to our co-host today, Stephen, for coming along on this journey. And thank you so much to the speakers. Really, really appreciate you guys coming up. And I really want to emphasize that fact that a lot of you are core introverts, and you're coming up and you're speaking in spaces, and that's really appreciated. You've shared a lot of knowledge. You've also asked some incredible questions, which have led us on this journey to where we went today. So thank you for that. And thank you also to our listeners for listening and being so present in the space. And also, I want to just reach out to everybody that has been very active in the chat there are 47 posts in our chat. So I know that Master and myself will make some time to head into the chat and try to connect with some of you, and also make sure that we read everything that you've posted and contributed. So thank you to those people that have been listening and were not able to speak in the space, or you've been busy, or it's not your choice and you feel more comfortable to post in the chat, and we thank you for that. Also, to the people that were unable to connect today, that we couldn't bring you up, we look forward to seeing you next week in the Positivity Vibe Tribe introvert space. So I just also want to thank our partners, Bunsen and Beaker, as well, and everybody for your contributions. By the way, we will be back tomorrow. The Positivity Vibe Tribe space will be back tomorrow at an earlier time. It is actually 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you'd like to come back tomorrow and join the space, we'll be talking with our host, with our joining host, Success Minded, on gratitude. So join us tomorrow. And in the meantime, I am sending you love, light, and blessings.